So this is gonna be like the ultimate test of not jumping. Usually he'll fail when he's too excited. So go ahead and hang back for a second, right? And just observe, just observe his body language, and you can kind of see if he's in this state, he's gonna probably want to jump up to meet you. There's been a couple ways that we can, right? We can help with that. Part of it is the anti-bark collar. Good boy. It just vibrates and makes sounds. Yes. Good. Part of it is just giving him some time, and then also, especially because it's usually with people that he knows or has treats, making sure that they preemptively ask him to sit or down, and then when he does come to you, already be down. Good boy. I know, hold on. And then when he comes to you, automatic. And then when he actually comes to you, go ahead and after he follows through with the command, give him lots of attention and everything down low. And if he pops back up, immediately stop again. Right? Ready? Here, I'll give you. So go ahead and, yeah, there you go. And then down low. No. So go ahead and stop again. There you go. And then down low. Down low, Dad. Oh. So when he's... so we'll try again. So like when he's already approaching you or whoever he's excited for, they have to give him the command to interrupt his train of thought, get him to sit for the treat, and then bring him down low. So as soon as he pays attention to you, there you go. Good. Then down low. There you go. Good. Good. There you go. I'll pull him back through again. There you go. All right. Good. And that's, there you go. Good. We can probably take that off too. It's not really. He's too excited for it to do much right now anyways. Go ahead and unclip that from him. So that way, because he's just desensitizing himself to it at this point. Usually when it's when he's calmer, it'll actually kind of disrupt. It just beeps and vibrates, so it's not shocking him or anything. But he's kind of way past that. There you go.
Yeah, that was like the air blaster work for about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Good. So go ahead. Like I said, go ahead and give him a sit command to come to you. Good, and then give him attention when he's down low. And then stop. Good, there you go. And then down low again. Perfect, there you go. And then stop. And then ask him to sit again.
Sit.
He's exploding. There you go, and then down low, and then when he pops up, you stop.
Oh.
No, he's fine. He's still down.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and give him attention while he's down.
Good boy.
There you go, good. It's just when he pops up, it stops. There you go. There we go.
Dude. Oh, no, you got a lot to say.
So miss you guys. There you go, good. Yep. There you go. Good.
Yeah.
And the reason why we really want to try to get him used to getting all that attention and bleeding out that excitement and energy while he's down low is to actually help dissipate that excitement, right? And then as soon as he pops up, then we stop again and we reset, right? Good boy, there you go. So when he's so when he's facing or starting to approach, you have to be really You have to be really preemptive with the sit.
Yeah.
Pretty much as soon as he's paying attention to you and closing distance, you need to interrupt that train of thought as he's closing the gap. Because if you don't give it to him early, right, it's not going to be disruptive enough. There you go, perfect. Because like he's so amped up and so excited that it's already hard enough for him to pay attention. So you have to really like. Okay. Go ahead.
Sit.
Good. There you go.
Fine. Fine.
Same with that. Almost. So when he turns to you,
Sit.
he's paying attention to mom. So as soon as he pays attention to dad, go ahead and get ready for it. Right? So go ahead and call him over to you now.
Goose. Goose.
He likes mom. That's
She's
fine.
got the treats too.
Oh,
Can you sit?
Goodness, bud.
What? Right, and then just stop.
Good.
There you go.
Sit.
Almost. There you go. Good. See, that's how you know when he's starting to get back to that level of coherency,
Yeah.
right? Is because it should be trained enough that when he sees somebody, he should pay attention to you and sit. It's just that in that in that beginning moment when he's super excited, that training pretty much, goes out the door. So that's why it's really important that you try to take advantage of the moments when he's really excited as much as you can, because it's actually pretty hard to get out in public unless you're at a dog park and somebody else has treats. It's really hard, and that's where like he will finally start
And at
popping
our
up.
dog park, he gets a lot of treats for free. Is the other side effect.
Yeah.
It's like trick or treat for him.
It's like feeding the birds.
Yeah.
Poor guys.
So it'd be good to kind of get try to talk to him early before you guys come into the park. Maybe have like mom go in first and let people know, and then have dad come in with you. So that way he'll be excited, he'll see people, and they'll be like, oh, hey, that's it, and then he'll execute much better. He still needs some help on that part, but that's the easiest way to do it. Easiest way. The next way, which you can also do as well, is to just step on the lead to make sure that he can't pop up once you're kind of close.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing that I do when he kind of goes in between the legs.
Uh-huh.
Just because sometimes when he is doing well like that and he is sitting, he's still super excited and can pop up early. So it's the same idea there, just preemptively when you're around grandma or somebody new coming into the home, even if he's doing well, just go ahead and preemptively stand on the leash, just to make sure, even if he does suddenly pop up, he's already going to be
his
stunted.
Welcomes are violent.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Goose. Hey, sit. Goose.
Go ahead and reset, because the one thing, and it's good because he hasn't gotten used to it with dad yet, right, is he'll go from mom, he'll go to dad, and we'll miss that little bit of a window. I want him to kind of do it naturally. So let's see, I'll come back here. Wait. Okay, so now if he approaches you, go ahead and let him.
Sit.
Good. Okay, and now when he's done with mom, you go ahead and get ready, because that's going to probably be your turn.
Or not.
Maybe?
Maybe not.
There you go, almost.
All right, Goose.
Yeah.
That's fine.
There we go.
Sit.
Perfect, there you go. Good. Good.
Where are you back to that? Shush.
There you go.
Very happy to see us.
And then this is where you would take advantage of this, so that way
Yeah.
if he is still excited, which he is, he's doing better, he's calming down.
Yeah.
But that way you can make sure that he still prevents popping up, especially with like kids. Did you have fun? Are you all tuckered out? There you go. Good boy.
Goose.
Come here, buddy.
Sit.
Good. There you go.
Up. That was a bounce, but okay.
Bouncing is good because he kind of learns to kind of stop himself midway, because I'll be coming in from like taking another pup out or something, and he'll see me and he knows already. I kind of do a preemptive sit back down as I'm coming in, but you'll see his excitement come up and he has to kind of like stop himself. So that's another good way that you can do it, but you have to leave the room or the house for a little bit and then come back in. And after about the second or third try, he already gets it as a training drill. So then you have to leave for at least like 5 or 10 minutes and then come back to replicate that excitement. So after the first couple times, he gets into training mode, and you don't really get any benefit again from the practice, because the practice that he needs, he's got to be like up here for, which is part of, like you said, part of the reason why it's so hard. But when you come back home from work, that's going to be the perfect time. Be like, hey, honey, go ahead and get the leash, right? Let's go ahead and practice. And what'll help too is just giving him something extended to do with you, so he's just kind of excited and circling around or playing with you, or like throwing a ball or something like that.
You have a lot to say, buddy.
I haven't heard him bark this much before. Very excited. Oh, good boy. So while we still have him a little bit calming down, but still really wanting to be with you, this will be good for the sit, stay, and release, because he really wants to be with you right now. So go ahead and ask him to sit and stay,
Sit.
and then see how far you can go.
This way.
Yeah, either way. You can go ahead and put the leash down.
Well, stay.
Almost. Almost. Go ahead and reset again.
Sit.
Now this time, don't go as far as quickly. Just watch for when he's gonna break early, and then reinforce the stay. And then when you're sure he's settled down like he is there, good, check it out. Then give a clear release, like the goose come or something like that. Yeah.
Goose, come.
There you go, good. The main thing is having him, he's actually settled first and not just like trying to break. And then making sure he sees you and then clearly reacts to the release.
So can you sit? Stay.
Good, very good.
Like stick him to sit when he gets there, or is that okay?
What I would usually do, and you'll see that at the dog park videos, I'll have him go immediately into the place, because that will help prevent what you kind of saw there with the popping up because he's excited again, right? So either asking him to sit or just doing the right into the place. Try recalling into the place. In between your legs, yeah. That'll help him from not jumping on you. There you go, perfect.
And Kate was backing up. She was doing.
It's fine,
Is
so
that
long as
okay, or is that
you have
confusing?
to be careful, because I'll keep it still, because sometimes the movement can accidentally free him. But I'll try to make it as obvious as possible, because I'll go from here to like okay, come, or down. But so long as you're because you might need it to reinforce him to stay as well. So you just want to be careful and pay attention that you're not accidentally triggering him to release early. That's all. There you go. Good. Much better.
Like a champ.
All right. Well, we'll give you that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Good.
Sit. You want to try, John?
Yeah, we'll give Dad a turn here.
Stay.
I am the trainer.
Oh, I see.
Goose. Stay.
Oh.
Back up there. Goose. Get up there.
There you go.
You're
Sit.
Yeah, careful. There you go. Good. Perfect. There you go.
Sit.
Almost. There you go.
Come here, Goose. Place. Good boy. Should we lots of friends?
And what we could try out too is just a ping pong exercise.
Okay.
So we'll get in kind of like a triangle. And everybody have treats.
Place.
I can give you a couple as well. All right. So whoever he's with, there you go. Now one of us will call him to us. I'll let you. It's okay. I'll go first. Goose, come. Please. Good boy. Okay. And then, yeah, there you go. Good. So that's going to be a good practice because he's going to come at you excited. All right, go ahead, Dad. Perfect, good. Goose. Good. Oh, this will be a good practice with Mom. There you go, good. Right? That way you get him used to being excited when approaching you or anybody, and then immediately going into it. Because we've done it so many times, he automatically does that instead of coming up to me to jump. Good, there you go. That was good self-control though. There you go, better. Goose, come. Yes. Good boy. There you go, good. Okay, now we'll try Dad again. Good, there we go. All right. You guys have any questions on anything before I pause and go to the next exercise?
Yeah, this one's fun.
It's a good way to burn off some of his energy, but at the same time teaching him when he's excited and running at you to control himself and make that steady habit. Boy. Good. Perfect. Perfect, good. Good recovery. There you go. And this is a good simple exercise to do so that way he gets rewarded for just kind of paying close attention to you, and it keeps the leash and both his name as additional backup reinforcers. So now this time you would do the same thing, but actually try to just use his name to redirect back to you. So don't use the leash, but just his name. There you go. Didn't think he had to go. He just went not too long ago. Good. Perfect, good. And what I'll do sometimes to add emphasis to it is I'll change direction and call his name at the same time. Very good. Perfect. Good. And then the last one is just traditional leash pressure. Very good. There you go. Hey, you can follow.
Goose, come.
There you go. Okay. And for the traditional leash pressure, you just change direction, and then either the leash should give a sudden tug or just a slight one while you're about to change direction. So either at the moment or a little preemptively. So this is gonna be hard because you can kind of see there, some people are used to doing verbals. So especially when you're trying to separate the exercises, make sure you're only hitting that, either the verbal or the leash. Okay? So go ahead and just start walking them around with just leash. Good. And then whenever he does, you can always still give him that verbal confirmation or praise. You just want to try avoiding, the other exercise, calling his name to turn. Perfect. There you go. Good. There you go. Good. There you go.
Sit.
Almost. You see there? He gave that little verbal call to get his attention as opposed to just using a leash. It's a hard habit for some people. But it means that he'd probably be really good at just the verbal part. Good.
Good boy.
There you go. Good. But all those things we kind of practice separately, so that way you can kind of know what he needs more or less help with. He's pretty good and even with most of them. Just make sure, especially with the leash, that he doesn't just continue pulling without anything.
So when he does, I don't know if he did it as much with you, but for me, he does that crazy barking sometimes when he sees another dog across the street.
Yeah, no, we had him over that pretty quickly and easily. What we'll do is we'll load up his stuff and then we'll go to the shopping center and we'll see hopefully by the PetSmart if there are any pups coming and going, and we'll just kind of practice that there.
And yeah, my question would be, what steps should I take? Because I'm gonna do it with me, I think. He does it.
Got you. What I would do is pay close attention to him when you see another dog. Go ahead and start paying attention to him. Does he see the other dog? Is he focusing on the other dog, or is he kind of doing the usual of checking back in with you? If he starts hard focusing on the other dog for too long, that's when I would either use the leash pressure or the verbal command to get him to refocus back onto me. If neither of those things work on the first try, which is very important, it means that he's already too fixated on the other dog, and to go ahead and do a hard U-turn so that way it breaks that line of sight and forces him to kind of refocus back onto you, and then giving him either that sit command and then letting him kind of go back and forth between you and the dog, so that way he's not focused and fixated. Usually if you kind of like with his jumping, if you can interrupt that train of thought before he gets too excited or too far along, you're 99% of the way there. It's just being able to, perfect. So go ahead and call his name.
Goose.
Right, now go ahead and hard turn. There you go. Good. Right, you get one shot for each one. If he doesn't respond, that's how you know that you need to, good boy, right? That's how you know that you need to help him out even more, right? Because if you spend too much time trying to get his attention back when you've already lost it, then yeah, it's good.
Usually that make him just sit and climb the trees.
No, there you go. Good. And now while mom call him. Good. And then go ahead and give her the lead. and then just walk along with them. I'm gonna go on the sidewalk this way. And see, just pay close attention to him, right? Very good. There, good. So paid attention to the leash pressure. And that's it. We want him to be able to just see other dogs and then just redirect back to us on his own. And then we just say, good boy. It's when, very good, there you go. And that's how you'll know that you're still okay, or, you know, you might need to help him out. But most of the time he's been really okay with me, but it might be different with you. Yeah, unfortunately. If you guys still need help, we can, you know, always do those follow-up sessions together and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially at like the dog park or pet store, somewhere we know there's going to be
Or
dogs.
Our street.
Yeah,
So
or your
that
street.
seems to be our.
Because he's been doing great here on those streets.
We're like we don't have sidewalks, so we're closer when we encounter dogs.
See, now they're barking, so it's going to attach more attention to him. Very good.
Boy.
Perfect. There you go.
Good boy. We just need to practice more.
Yeah. Right? And now go ahead and start moving to see if he still is following them or is following you, because now you have another one coming, right? Hi. Let's try to make it easy for her. I know this neighbor, and she has mobility issues, so if her dog starts pulling, she gets quite upset, understandably. So we want to try to not make it too hard for their dog, yeah. Right, so perfect. Good. There you go. Good. Good boy.
Checking in with all your people.
Good boy. Perfect. There you go. Yep. Yes.
Yes.
Good. Hey, how you doing? Good? Very good. Perfect. Distance is always your friend in these cases, starting off far away, but then moving up closer and closer. The pet store was a really good one for that, because obviously most people are just going to go to and from the parking lot to the doors. And so I would just start really far away from the sidewalk and then just move closer and closer. There is even a bench there, so we were able to just sit right there and just letting people go past. So
What do you think about, so in our neighborhood we live on the corner.
oh, that could be hard too, because
We have so
suddenly
much dog traffic.
oh, that's good.
I was thinking maybe to start them off as put a chair way back by the garage and sort of do an exercise like this. Hey, Goose.
Very good.
Boy.
Yep, there you go. It's just getting him used to seeing other pups and not overreacting. That's all. Because you want him to just hang out in this area as long as he's not like getting too excited. You can see he's going back and forth. He is focusing, but he's unfocusing, right? He's not, the tail isn't going, he's not pulling towards the other dog, all that stuff. So the longer that he's in this zone, the better for him, because he's desensitizing himself to it.
We've lost it when his tail's like straight out.
Yeah. That little nub.
Yeah.
And we have a decent amount of problems when we take him out to go to the potty. Dog's passing and he just goes crazy.
No, he should be much better now. At least he was for me. So let me know if your mileage varies and we need to, you know, do some sessions at your home neighborhood with you. Because I know with his mom, and you'll see in the video too, it was kind of the same behavior with the Great Pyrenees, and we were able to help her out by, yeah. And so, like, I have another video because we were there last night helping them out too, and just with her, it has to be a lot more preemptive initially. With him, you just have to make sure that he doesn't build up that excitement. So it's okay for him to preemptively, here, munching on some grass. Let's go ahead and get him over. But with him, you don't have to worry so much about him seeing a dog and then suddenly reacting. It's how excited is he when he sees that dog. The only other thing too is like how excited is that dog to seeing him. Because when they start barking and pulling towards you, that's when it's going to be a lot harder for him to control himself.
There's a couple that
Yeah. And that's when you would just kind of do that. And that's when you would just kind of do that U-turn.
Okay. Because my goal is to walk. I walk a lot. And our Golden's got a walking buddy, but she's old now.
Oh.
she can't quite do
Those
the
2 milers aren't her game.
No.
He'll definitely be fine with it too. Good, very good, perfect. And that's what you're going to be looking for back at home, right? Him checking in, him being interested. If he starts pulling too hard, definitely take that as an indicator. Good, very good, perfect. Right?
Good
Good.
boy, good boy. Sit.
Go ahead, break. There you go. Go. There you go. Good. There you go. Good. Right? So just what we were talking about. He can do a really good job on his own up to a point, depending on how the other dog is behaving. So there you go. That's good. Right. Now everything's settled back down. He should be good. He's pinging back again.
Tail at 90 degrees. Number, okay.
Good boy. There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good example of
Mhm.
that starting to chuff.
Yeah. And so at that point, is he being excited? Is he just being sort of protected?
From what I've seen, just excited.
I always kind of figured it, but they just sniffed each other.
Except his excitement
Mm.
was so high.
Yeah, because what ends up happening is if he stays fixated and focused and he gets excited, but he doesn't have a way of releasing that without seeing him, and if they're walking away and you're too far, then the leash also exacerbates that because he gets frustrated being held back and he's trying to push even more forward and getting more frustrated and excited. So usually the combination of those things, ramp himself continuously up. So that's why it's really important, instead of trying to ask him for his attention back, you just kind of physically U-turn to get his attention back, because it's really a lot harder for him to stay fixated if mom is moving me this way. So that's why you give him one shot on each one, either the leash pressure or his name, and if he's already too fixated to listen, that's how you'll know it's a kind of a clear sign to just kind of go. Because all these walking exercises really help with him refocusing on you during those moments too.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do any good if you're also just standing still trying to get him to not focus on the dogs. You have to also just go.
And usually what we're encountering is somebody coming up from behind us, or we're passing.
And the passing thing is going to be the same way. You just kind of pay attention to how excited is he getting as they're getting closer. Is he still checking back in on you or not? And just like with the beagle, just getting him at least to kind of focus on you for a second, and then taking that time that you have when he's excited, but he isn't freaking out yet, to talk to luckily I know everybody, and eventually you will too in your neighborhood, but to talk to them and be like, hey, would your dogs like to meet? And yes, release him. So that way you're not, building that. So go ahead, like with the beagle, letting them go, letting them play, get all that stuff out, and then getting him back again to focus, and then letting him go again. So practicing again, even when we can get him on a platform, and that'll help keep him from eating the grass and keep him off the hot pavement. But practicing once again when he's in that excited state because he wants to go back to play, letting him recall back to focus on you, waiting, and then you release him to play again. We've done that a couple times, especially at the dog park. It's really good. But that will help with just your timing of everything and knowing how he's gonna do, kind of even before he does it. Let's see, and that way too, like if he starts to get pretty excited, the other dog's getting excited, having him sit, wait, focus, place, and then be like, hey, would you dogs like to meet? And they'll be like, no, they're not friendly, or they're kind of timid or shy. Or like, okay, and then go ahead and change direction. So now you're taking yourself out of an escalating scenario before he starts to trip up. And most of the time too is you'll be able to tell anyways if people want their dogs to meet or not. It's kind of disheartening because most of the time it's like no. Yeah. Especially if they're training, or like downtown has the off-leash canine where they're not allowed to meet. That's usually pretty obvious because they're always on a very tight heel with the remote and stuff. And so that's how I'll know as well. Hey Goose, we're not going to be able to meet them. You got to pay attention to me. Look this way. Let's go turn around. Let's make some space because they're going to come through and they're not allowed to engage. So getting that good practice in of him learning to just not be able to meet every dog too is much better than, oh, let me see if I can go see this dog. Let me go see if I can go see this dog. Let me go see if I can go see this dog. Because that's mostly all he wants to do. He's had great interactions with every dog that he's met in the neighborhood as well. The two little ones, our neighbor's dogs, the beagle.
And we found that when he's off leash,
Oh yeah.
We have no problem with the dog. He just loves to play.
Oh yeah. No, so I think it's just that excitement, right? And that frustration of being held back. All right. You guys have any questions before we reconfigure this for another exercise, and then we'll go do the social? Cool. Good, there you go. Good. And I'll give him a reward either after he peels himself from like a really high distraction, or if he just continuously checks in on his own. Maybe I'll count to like 3 or 5 times and then I'll give him a treat. Good, there you go. Very good. So it's kind of like the leash practice work and the verbal work, but just adding in more of that kind of heel territory. So like less room for error. Very good. So there it is, right? So he started going behind you, right? So that's how you'll also know that you have too much slack. If he gets like all the way around, you need to kind of reel in the leash a little bit more. There you go. There you almost. Go ahead and shorten up the leash a little bit. There you go. Okay, now try it again. Make sure he stays on that side of you and not the other side. Getting there. Almost. Do one more pass and try again. Good. Good. Okay, now as you're walking this way, he should stay on your left as opposed to going to your right when you go across the fence. Good. Good. You can see he's getting just distracted by his nose, so that's where teaching him to pop back up to refocus on those jerks will really help. Good. Yep. Now try to walk. Yep. Just keep going that side. There you go. Almost. Good. Now this time try walking down the fence line the other way and keeping him on your left. There you go. Almost. Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Good. Almost. He might be. There you go. Bless you. There you go. He's tired. It's been about his hour. Excuse. Well, it's how do you feel in like those sudden situations when you have a dog coming or whatnot, and do you get tense? Do you
I'm
get
sure I do.
okay?
We both.
Because
Yeah.
he usually reacts so badly that even before he's reacted badly, I'm anticipating it.
Okay. So with
And I can see how calm you are in your videos.
yes, and sometimes that's what the difference is too. I worked with a veteran before that was perfect. That was suffering from a PTSD and had kind of similar issues with a reactive dog, and I was having an easier time than he was. And part of that was just because of his past experience with the dogs too. And so like the more good experiences that you have,
Place.
good. The more good experiences that you have, that hopefully in the long term that'll help to relieve that stress and anxiety. But a good thing is too knowing that you have control, right? Go ahead and break off this way a little bit to help out. There you go. Yep.
Good boy.
And then break back towards them as they're going to get loaded up, and then just try to walk right by.
Come on, Goose.
Hi, how you doing? Thumbs.
Good boy, dude.
Boy, yes.
Good. Right, and then right into the next pup that's coming up. So the more practice that you get out and about and the more good experiences that you have, the more control that you feel like you have, generally the less anxious you'll be beforehand.
Yeah.
So a big part of it is just kind of you really taking control of a situation and knowing that, right? So even in like worst case scenarios, what if he starts barking? Oh, I'm gonna turn around and go this way. Kind of like when you're on a winding road and you see that deer caution sign. So long as you start to get a little bit preemptive on what you're gonna do, instead of getting anxious like, oh, I'm gonna hit a deer, I'm gonna hit a deer.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking about that, thinking about, oh, if I see one up ahead, I'm gonna just gently slow down, not slam on the brakes. I'm gonna make sure there's not a car that's too close to behind me. All the thinking about preemptively everything that you're gonna do to maintain control can help with the anxiety of, oh, he's gonna see a dog and bark, because you'll be mentally so preoccupied with everything else, right, as opposed to just thinking about that bad situation.
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and walk into him whenever you're ready. I think somebody went potty.
That's the only celebration.
After potty training 4 puppies in a row, I'm like, oh, I'm all for celebrating them pooping outside too. It's crazy, and a lot of us just block that out of memory too. After like we
forgot
grown
what it
up,
was
yeah.
We have been getting.
Hi, how you doing?
My dogs have either grown out of it,
Yes.
both, or rescues already kind of knew the business.
Right. Does your dog want to say hi? Hi. Does your dog want to say hi? Yeah. So go ahead and break that tension real quick while you're in control and letting him just kind of smell. Very good. Oh, he's cute. He?
Yes.
Oh, what's his name?
We just got him.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Thank you.
This is Goose.
They were saying Maverick, though.
Oh, oh, it's okay. Are you scared, bud? There you go. Good.
Good sniff.
There you go. Good job, Goose. Are they having like an event or something?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Hey, buddy.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting us meet you.
Good luck.
Good boy. Good. So then reflect back on that. How did you feel during that interaction? Even though he was doing well, were you able to kind of feel it, or were you still a little anxious?
Probably a little anxious.
Right. So, just being cognitive of the way that we feel sometimes can really help us to change and to adapt. Most of the time, though, it's just going to be hard, continuous positive experiences. But that was good, though. He did
'Cause
great.
I watched his body language and I thought, oh, he's good on this one.
Oh yeah.
And then I was wondering, what's the other dog about?
Yeah, he seemed a little unsure, right?
Yeah.
And so this might be good because he's going to be too excited, right? Go ahead and turn off to the side here. Good, there you go.
Boy.
And think about a game plan in your head that you're going to execute. Because most of the times the dogs are going to be right down the middle. I'm going to probably use the side aisles, right? To kind of break line of sight if I need to, because he's already getting amped up, right? We haven't even seen a dog yet. He's already kind of like staging up, and that's just from paying close attention to him. And also, he doesn't usually pull unless he gets really excited for something, right? So that's usually a good, easy way, and that's another reason why you want to, on your end, try to keep that leash as loose as possible, because then you know, he's creating the tension and not you, right?
Good boy.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Perfect. Good. And in that case too, you might want to practice stepping on the leash as well. It's a little awkward, even with some practice, but it can definitely help.
Somebody's loud, but
There you
I don't know
go.
what it is.
We'll find out. So yeah, going in, and then I would immediately go to the left or to the right, and having him follow you as opposed to you having to redirect him. So just concentrate on you leading him all the way to Boston. Perfect. Now go ahead and do a U-turn so we can see the Boston as they're leaving. Good. And then just try to pay close attention to him and have him kind of ping pong back and forth between you and the pup. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine, you're fine.
Good boy. Good boy. There you go. He's like checking in. Good job, the guy.
Not to look at, huh, bud? Check out the cats.
And that brings up another good point too. Sometimes when we're at the farmer's market, there's so much going on and so many dogs that it doesn't trigger. Oh, because you see the kid there. So go ahead and redirect him over this way.
Come on, this way.
There you go.
Green
He's
eyes
been
stretching
good
that
around.
kid through the glasses. I know.
He's been pretty good with kids until like they either run away or they're scared of him. And so what I would do is just have him kind of break line of sight, let the parents know, if they want to meet him, to just stay calm and not freak out. But then as soon as they do, it makes it hard again.
We have my brother is coming
Boy.
in July, and he has 3 kids. And he's really good with the 10-year-old and the 7-year-old, but the 3-year-old, so we're going to see how he does.
It's harder because
We
like,
might board him.
yeah, it's harder because like, you're almost more so like with that instance there, and when we're at the neighborhood with the kids, my neighborhood, it's more so working with the kids than with him, because he gets really freaked out when they're riding the scooters and everything too. So I just asked him if I can, see their scooters so that way I can get used to them. And then as soon as I separated them, that already helped him a little bit. And then after I gave the kid a treat, that helped him get used to the kid too. So like really breaking things down.
And
But
that's
like,
what we did with our 6-year-old niece. He's a little iffy with her, but then warms up.
there you go.
But the 3-year-old won't give him a treat. She's
Yeah.
just terrified.
Yeah, if she's too scared, then that's gonna be too hard. Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be the worst because a kid ran away from him too, and that kicks in his other instinct, which you want to avoid as well.
Hurting.
So now let's go back through. And then just walk straight through and towards the other side.
That way.
Yep. And then to your left and then towards the kids. Good. Good. There you go.
Picking out a treat.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
good
good.
boy. And now continue going this way, but if you need to, break this way, right? So just see how he is. Good boy. Oh. Oh, look at the puppy. Good. Now break. Good.
Boy. Oh, yeah. Good sniffs.
An Australian Shepherd. Yeah.
Oh, somebody might be trying to pick you
Little
up.
over here.
Okay. Goose.
Good. There you go. And this helps because there's all those other smells to distract him from just maintaining that focus.
I know.
There you go.
I like the shot.
But back to what we were talking about before at like the farmer's market, when there's so much going on that he sees a dog and it's almost just like whatever. Whereas if you're just in your neighborhood and there's just one dog, right?
We've
it's
seen
like the
that
focus
too.
of an
Too
event.
many targets doesn't care.
Mhm.
And I think that's part of his success at dog park is
Mhm.
there's not a real single dog unless there's one rare cross.
You want to come back down and look at these dogs?
Yeah. And that's why you have the whole aisle to go back and forth towards. And while you're walking towards the dogs, you can pay close attention to him and what he's doing and how he's able to kind of relax and fixate back onto you or just get distracted. There you go. Good boy.
Oh, good boy.
Yes. Oh,
very good.
oh, good habits. Good boy. As usual boy. Perfect. There you go. So just to anticipate that if there's only one dog walking early in the morning, that's going to take all of his attention.
Yep.
So maybe like going from the sidewalk to some grass
Yeah.
to help him find something else outside of you. Preferably we want him to just be able to focus on you, but giving him as many other things around to help break that fixation is it.
Good boy, Goose.
Oh, good boy.
Should we go pick out a phone for you?
Oh, poor pups. That was the hardest part about volunteering at the shelter, is just like wanting to take everybody home.
Yeah.
You feel so bad because then like you get to know them, you know how sweet they are.
Look at this
Hopefully a
guy
couple
here.
more pups will find a home.
I know that one guy got a
I'm pretty sure that puppy is definitely gonna find a home. Good boy.
What a good boy, Goose.
And if you want to ask the owner with the dog to the side there, if they want to meet, then that'll be good. So that way he's not already too close before you know. Perfect, very friendly. There you go. So go ahead and try to break that as soon as possible. Oh, good boy.
But yeah, we wanted to see because we have two Shelties at home and we're not sure.
Oh, perfect.
He's kind of a nut, so.
Oh, there you go. It looks like they want to play already.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Nah, he's fine. He's cute. She?
She's 8 months old.
Oh, good girl. Good job. Oh, good boy. And this is where, like, if he's going to meet strangers, maybe getting ready to sit on the lead. Good boy. Yes, good recovery.
boy.
There you go.
Very good boy.
He
Steve place.
There you go.
Good boy.
Yeah, we have two Shelties at home.
Oh,
Smaller than this one. We thought they were when we thought it was one of those, but we found out they were Shelties.
It's a good boy, Goose. That's the noises.
let's go ahead and give them a break from the barking, too.
Yeah.
That was good. Oh, hi.
Hi, buddy. Good boy.
Perfect.
Really good
Very
boy.
good. And that's, again, how you know that he's not too fixated, because then he falls back to the training.
Sure.
Right? We can do as much training and repetition as we can in like those controlled situations or when it's quiet. And that's great just to build those habits. But it's in those situations that you actually put the training kind of to the test. Right? And that's how you kind of make him better, but kind of run the possibility of either failing or needing to take a step back. And that's perfectly okay. You just have to be aware of that and ready for what you're going to do when he starts to overreact or bark, right? Good boy. Aw. Good
smells.
boy.
Yeah. Good smells in here.
And in this situation, kind of like outside, I'll kind of determine what I'm here for. So if I'm here for his socializing, I don't want him to just continuously pull, but I'm also going to help him by getting closer to things that he's just going to naturally smell, and that way he doesn't create that tension automatically anyways. But if I'm here because I want to practice leash work and keeping him away from all those smells and keeping him with me, then practicing more of that heel work. Extend the focus. A lot of times the problem that I see with some parents at first is they try to do too much all at once, right? I think he's going to be pretty okay for the most part. You might start be able to kind of do multiple things at a time, but it's usually better to just concentrate on something at a time until it's really good, and then you can kind of deviate. And we'll follow Mom here, and we'll see if we can get him to just casually walk by everybody. Really? Oh, I'm sure you could probably teach him to bark when he smells certain things too. Anybody in there? The empty crate. Alright, so same thing. We'll kind of go down and then see how he's doing, and then you always have the right side.
So with the it's all the same, right? Yeah, just do it for the. You just have to make sure you do the top. Is it hard on this one? What's your second?
Oh, you have a brother. Good boy. Oh.
Did you see this one over here?
Oh my goodness.
You can't have 4 dogs.
I was gonna say my little sister also down in Florida is trying to find parents for a German Shepherd litter as well.
I know. I see it. Oh.
So if you want a German Shepherd, let me
I
know.
don't think we're good enough for that yet.
You keep pace with Goose pretty good though.
Yeah, see you later. Some of Goose's, one of Goose's friends.
Good boy.
You're doing so good, buddy.
There you go.
Snip.
Sniffing, checking back. Oh. Good boy. Oh, right up behind you. Oh, good job. Boy, perfect. And there's the same kid again, right? So just making sure. Yep.
I think he also doesn't do well when he's really startled. Like he didn't expect that guy behind that.
Good boy.
Good boy, Goose.
Yeah, that actually brings on a good point there too. Is oh, hi. There you go. Do you want to say hi? There you go. Good job. Good. Yeah, that brings upon another point of like usually like the kid with the scooter. It's mostly like with him overreacting with me is when he gets startled. And then we had a time when we were walking at night and it was just some guy sitting, kind of weird, he was just kind of sitting outside on a lawn chair, I guess just enjoying the weather, and just, I guess rounding the corner he didn't expect him there, and just started barking. So, all I did, here, we'll kind of move this way so I can hopefully record this for you. All I did, there we go, in that situation was pull Goose further away so you can still see him, but I could redirect him, and then go back closer to him again, getting him used to it, and kind of pinging back and forth.
Yeah.
So that way he got used to seeing the person and not barking. Luckily the person, because he's very used to me having dogs. And he was okay, and I guess he was just going to sit outside anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. But that was a good opportunity to get him to calm down and adjust. It's harder with kids, but you'll do pretty much the same thing. It's just, it can be a lot harder with kids, especially if they're scared.
What do you think about, so when they come down, I was going to just walk Goose around, and we have a gate in our kitchen that we can easily see, like a baby gate, and then having him come through so he's
That'd be good.
but like not.
That would be good. That way, also he doesn't have the tension on the leash, and back and forth. And same with the kids. The main thing is just letting them know either to stay perfectly still and be in the middle of the room, so they're not rounding any corners, they're not moving erratically, or when they do start moving, to move either away from him slowly, but just not towards him or anything.
So how much to store a kid with you for training to get used to it?
Hey, we can always do a session if you can bring him over sometime.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to help. Good boy. All right, you guys have any questions?
No?
You-
Great.
Yeah, you guys did great. Oh, you did great too, good boy.
Although it looks like your nemesis.
Yeah.
Hi. Cute pup. Oh, I think they're visiting the vet though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good boy.
good job. There you go.
There's one little white fluffy dog in her